Scientific revolution. What is scientific revolution? Scientific revolution was a series of events that marked the emergence of modern science during the early modern period when developments in mathematics, physics, astronomy, biology, and chemistry transformed the views of society about nature. Scientific revolution was also the period of time where our thinking as humans changed and we began to modernize as a society.
What was the scientific revolution and how did this change of thought come to be? Obviously, this time period holds much relevance in our society today, but it surprisingly holds more than the most people expect. Our thinking of the universe and how we inhabit Earth drastically changed during the 16th to 18th century. The scientific revolution is a label for the period of time where scientific discoveries were made, and ways of thinking changed so that the effect continue to be relevant in our society today. Up until the discoveries of Nicholas Copernicus in the 16th century, it was believed that the Earth was the center of the universe and that the planets and the sun revolves around it. But once Copernicus published his work on the revolution of the celestial spheres, a new theory arose. The sun was in fact the center of the universe and all planet revolves around it. This is an example of one of the first time that humans began to think differently in a way that continues to influence our culture and society today. It is now a known fact that Copernicus' theory was correct, but at the time he had to disprove the incorrect theory. This is an example of science based on Karl Popper's idea of what is the criterion through which we can tell science apart from non-science, pseudoscience, and nonsense. His ideology states that to be considered science, there must be an attempt theory to falsify, which Copernicus did to the original theory that the Earth was the center of the universe.
And now, scientific revolution. Another example of a change in thinking that remains relevant today is Francis Bacon's creation of the scientific method. His, at that time, new way of going about a scientific experiment is still used today by scientists and taught to students in schools. This method was a new way of thinking that created a long-lasting change in how we perform experiments and attempt to learn more about our universe. This scientific revolution was a time that brought many new ideas from many different intellectuals that still hold true today. Both Nicholas Copernicus and Francis Bacon provide examples of what the scientific revolution was and how it gave us knowledge that is still used today.